Hey everybody, I'm Dan Forbes, local realtor here in the Austin, Texas area, specifically in Cedar Park, Texas. And in this video, I have a conversation with my go-to mortgage guy, Danny Smith of Impact Mortgage Group, so I can bring you information on how COVID-19, the recession, job losses is affecting our Austin real estate market. So let's get into that right now. Hey everybody, I'm Dan Forbes, a local realtor here in Cedar Park, Texas, Austin, Texas. And if this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything that there is to know about what it's like to live here and work here and eat here and play here, then be sure that you subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the bell so that you'll be notified every week when a new video goes up. I mean, every day people are calling me, they're texting me, they're sending me emails because they're thinking about moving or relocating to Cedar Park or the Austin area, and I just absolutely love it. So if you're thinking that you might want to know more about Cedar Park, Leander, Round Rock, Georgetown, North Austin, you're in the right place. But right now, I want to share with you a conversation that I just had with my go-to mortgage guy, Danny Smith of Impact Mortgage Group, as we talk about what's happening in our Austin real estate market as a result of COVID-19, recession, job losses. And today is July the 14th, 2020, just to give you a perspective. So let's get into that interview, that conversation right now. Hey everybody, I'm Dan Forbes with Forbes Property Group, Pure Realty here in the Austin, Texas area. And I'm a local realtor, of course. I'm here with my good friend and my go-to mortgage guy, Danny Smith. Danny, introduce yourself. I mean, tell the listeners just a little bit.
Danny Smith, Impact Mortgage Group. Been through a few of these cycles that Dan and I are going to talk about for the next few minutes. I help people achieve their dream of home ownership.
Great, great. And for those that are listening to this video, we're going to cover 4 questions. We're going to be brief about it, but we're going to answer the question of what's happening in the Austin real estate market right now as a result of this pandemic. Number 2, how has COVID-19 affected our market? Number 3, how has the recession and job losses affected the market? And then, where do we go from here? Where do we think the market's going to go from here? So let's go back to that first question. Danny, how would you answer that if someone asked you, what's happening in the market right now today? What's it like?
Rates are great, Dan. I mean, that's what's happening in my market. Rates are great. I mean, literally can't get too deep into details without giving a lot of disclosures. To give you an idea, 30-year fixed rates with no points are below 3%. FHA rates are in the mid 2s, and those are 30-year fixed rate mortgages. That's what's going on in the mortgage market right now.
Yeah, and so consequently, what's happened? That's brought buyers into the market, and the story on the real estate inventory side is listings are down about 30%. So a lot of people have taken their home off the market right now, but we still have an imbalance of more buyers in the market than we have sellers. And so consequently, we are still in a strong seller's market. That's the short answer to what's happening in the market. It is a strong seller's market right now here in the Austin, Texas area. And as you mentioned, the great interest rates on the buyer side is causing a lot of that, right?
It is. It's causing a lot of it. The federal government is continuing to try to spur the economy on through its number one way to spur the economy is to move real estate and to move mortgages and to turn those mortgages over through refinance and such.
Okay, let's go to question 2. And question 2 is, how has COVID-19 affected the buyer? And I'll speak to that first. I mean, initially, like in March, whenever we had the shutdown here in Texas, the stay-at-home order, a lot of people took their home off the market, and those people have actually stayed out of the market. A lot of buyers sort of left the market, but within a couple of weeks,
especially after that first week when realtors, real estate was considered essential. We saw people coming back into the market. So there are still some people out of the market, but there are buyers in the market, and I'm seeing multiple offers on my listings, properties selling for above asking price. It's almost like a frenzy out there in certain price ranges right now. So what it tells me is in any market, even in a pandemic market, there are always buyers and sellers in the market. And that's how this, this COVID-19 has affected the supply and demand and, what's happening on the transaction side. How's it affected you on the mortgage side?
The mortgage side, we've lost. There's been some people that got furloughed, a couple people that lost, a few people that lost their jobs. We're getting phone calls. We're getting a lot of phone calls, people asking about the, can I qualify for a house, with what's going on, job changes. We're spending a lot more time in the loans. It's harder to get employment verifications right now because people are working behind the scenes from their homes still. So our job to get the loans ready to close through underwriting is a little bit more tedious and time consuming, but it's still easier to qualify people than it was back in the 80s and 90s. I'll just say that.
Well, that's a good comparison, and all of this sort of interrelated. These questions, because question number 3 is how has the recession and job losses affected the market and my clients, your clients. I mean, I had $1 million deal, $1 million transaction between contract and closing. The buyer's wife lost her job, and so they no longer qualified to purchase the home, and that transaction fell apart. And I think I just heard you allude to, that's happened probably more earlier on. I mean, are you still running into that?
Yeah, not too much, a little bit, but not too much. And we've had buyers we had one buyer being transferred here, and I don't know what it was, but I think he was en route of being transferred here and moving here, and he lost his job in the process. We did a verbal verification on a Monday, and we went to do it again on a Friday before we sent docs to the title company. He had lost his job during the process, and so he came back, and he went and got another job, and so everything was good. But yeah, there is some of that still going on. Not near what there was back in mid-March and late March and early April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's my take too. This earlier today in the mastermind that we were in, you were talking about people that have taken advantage of the forbearance for their mortgage payments. And just one point there, you had said that in the past that someone had forbearance, that if they then sold the home and wanted to buy again, they had to wait, what was it, a year? But now that's changed.
Yeah, when the forbearance first came out, and in the typical market, in the forbearance, and different lenders have different what we call overlays. Some lenders don't want a loan that's been in forbearance. They don't want a borrower that's been in forbearance on a loan for the past year. They want to give them a year that they've got their life settled back down. That has changed when forbearance first came out back in April. It was 1 year. Most lenders went to 1 year. Then everybody went to 90 days, and now it's for all of our lenders, and we underwrite 12 to 16 different lenders depending on the program. It's gone to just 30 days, and you make one payment, and you're eligible to buy or refinance a house after 30 days. What that you've made your payment, 30 days after you've made your first payment again.
So the last question is, where do we go from here? I mean, I don't know what you're going to say on your side. To me, what comes to my mind is working virtually. So right now, when I'm asked by someone to list their property, I'll go out and I'll walk through the property. I'm wearing a mask, and they're not in the home, and so practicing safe protocols. And then the listing appointment follows later, doing it via Zoom, like you and I are talking now. With buyers, they're following me in their car to the house they want to see. I open the door, I wait out in the front yard while they go in, they're wearing masks and take a look at the house. They come outside and we have a conversation outside, socially distanced, physically distanced from each other. And it's different, but it's working. I mean, it's working just fine. So, where do we go from here? I see more of this virtual listings, even maybe some virtual showings. People are buying houses by just seeing the virtual tours that are there. That's one thing. Market-wise, this is Austin. People love Austin. 100+ people a day are moving to Austin. I don't see that changing. We are probably the most recession-proof city in the United States. So I think it's good news for Austin. What do you want to say to that question? Where do we go from here?
Ditto. We just keep moving. We just keep moving forward. People that have jobs. I mean, for the most part here in Austin, it's very positive. I've had buyers, I've had people call me and ask me what was going on in the Austin area. They're thinking about moving here, and they got my name from somebody. And I think the economy is pretty good. We're in Texas.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So yeah, we're looking forward to the rest of 2020. We have some restrictions, but we just keep plowing forward.
There you go. All right, so I'm going to ask our listeners, look down in the description. I'm going to put Danny Smith's information there. So he's a loan officer. If you need help with a mortgage or refinancing, his information is going to be below so that you'll see that. My information is going to be there below too. Leave a comment, subscribe, ask a question if you have one. Would love to speak to and help anyone that I can help. Danny, thanks for joining me today. Short and sweet, but hopefully informative.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. See you.